All right, what's happening, my friends? Today you're going to be taking a personal security test, and it's kind of the Warrior Poet edition, so it's more hardcore than some folks might be anticipating if you're newer to the world of security. I have 10 different categories. We'll unpack them just a little bit, and you'll rank yourself on a score of 1 to 5. I've already given this to one of our staff who thought they were going to kill it, and they kind of didn't. So you'll get to do that today, and we'll identify some areas where we need to be able to grow. I'll also be taking it right here, scoring myself as we go along. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to go ahead and pay the bills and thank our video sponsor, SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe, thank you for sponsoring this video. I've been trusting SimpliSafe for years. I like that they have key fobs that make it really easy to set your alarm to home or away. I also like that they have panic buttons. Panic buttons should be staged all over the place. That's really cool. And of course, SimpliSafe comes with easy to install sensors for all your doors and windows. They have smoke alarms that call emergency services, not just make loud noise when you're not home. Video cameras, motion sensors, glass break sensors, and the works. Easy to set up, 24/7 monitoring for 50 cents a day. Very, very cool. SimpliSafe, again, thank you so much. If you are in the market for a security system and want something that's pretty easy, turnkey to set up, simplisafe.com/warriorpoetsociety and sign up today. Our first category is home security. This means your home is a fortress. You've got security cameras, you have door braces, you have an alarm system, a security dog, and little toy lap dogs don't count. In the words of Ron Swanson,
any dog under 50 pounds is a cat, and cats are pointless.
You also have staged guns, security lighting, and more. If you have all of that stuff, go ahead and give yourself a 5 out of 5. And if you have none of that stuff, give yourself a -2 and slap yourself. Number 2 is Firearms and Blades. This means you carry a gun on your person every day. You also train with that gun regularly. You also have a fighting knife and a stockpile of guns and ammo and accessories at home. If you have all that stuff, give yourself a 5. I'm going to give myself a 5 for home security and Firearms and Blades. I do very well with that stuff. I'm going to continue to sustain it. And before you guys accuse me of some arrogance where you're like, oh, great, John's going to give himself a 5. In all of the categories, I'm not rolling that way. I'm doing pretty well on those two, but I start downgrading pretty quick in some of this. Number 3 is hand-to-hand skills. This means you are trained for a stand-up fight, also a fight that goes to the ground, and you're also trained in case that hand-to-hand fight employs guns, knives, blunt instruments, improvised weapons. You can both disarm other people and employ your own in those closer wrestling matches. So kind of 3 different areas: on your feet, on the ground, and weapons in both of those areas. So if you are just a Jedi Knight, Master, Samurai, Warrior, go ahead and give yourself a 5. I'm going to give myself a 3. I'm pretty well rounded, but I need to just knock off a lot of dust in all 3 categories and train a little bit. I haven't gotten a nosebleed in quite a while. I need to get punched in the face again. So hand-to-hand skills, there you go. On to number 4. This is lifestyle and decisions. You completely avoid all stupid places at stupid times with stupid people. You are never in common, dangerous places where crimes typically happen. I'm going to give myself a 4. I'd like to do 5, and typically I would be at a 5, but I travel a good bit, so 4 it is. All right, number 5 is fitness. This means you have a high level of fitness in all the areas of strength, speed, endurance, agility, and flexibility. It's hard to have 5 fingers out while holding a pen. So if you're a power lifter and watching someone else run gets you out of breath, you're going to give yourself like a 2 or 3. We want to be able to smash someone, but also outrun someone. So if you can outlift, you can overpower and outrun nearly everyone you know, you'll give yourself a 5. But we want to be well-rounded, not just a hulking mass. And we also don't want to be some super skinny 90-pound person who can run like the wind, but you will break if someone looks at you too hard. That's not the fitness you want. We want to be very well-rounded. I'm going to give myself a 3 in this category as well. I'm behind a computer too much, chatting too much behind a camera. Come on, John. Very good. Next one is self-reliance. You have stockpiled food, money, bullets, and/or gained self-sufficiency through farming, well water, alternate energy, etc. In other words, at this very moment, without stopping at the store for a quick resupply, you could go to your home and not have to leave for a very long time. You could support you and yours. I'm going to give myself a 5 in this. I am out of suburbia. I'm out of the neighborhood I used to live on, and we have made dramatic changes in the last year in the areas of self-reliance. If something terrible happened out there, and we've seen little microcosms of this, tiny little pieces, and things went sideways, and you have to go expeditionary to be able to stay alive in those tense moments, that could be a bad thing. I realize in this category, some of you guys are reading in the tinfoil hat prepper type thing, but if something went sideways, you risk massive personal and family security if you have to leave and you don't have the stuff you need. So self-reliance, I think, is appropriate to have in this category for at least a warrior poet personal security assessment. Next category is medical, and I think we're at number 7 now. This means you are trained in life-saving emergency medical techniques, and you carry medical supplies with you wherever you go. I'm gonna give myself a 4 in this. I am stocked with medical equipment, and though I'm no doctor, I'm an old expired EMT. I feel like I can patch up the gun and knife stuff well enough to get you to a true medical professional. I'm gonna give myself a 4 here. Lots of tourniquets and chest seals just all over the place. If you shake my truck, this stuff's just gonna fall out of all cracks. Number 8, situational awareness. And be careful before you give yourself a 5 too quickly. I gave our executive producer for our network this test beforehand, and immediately I was like, oh, 5. And then I read some of the pieces here, and he downgraded himself to a 2. So here's situational awareness. This means when outside your home, you maintain a high level of situational awareness. You're well-versed in criminal psychology, reading specific threat indicators, and crime statistics. You are never seen in public looking at your phone or with your head down and absorbed in a task. This one is conflicting. I used to probably give myself maybe a 5 in this category. Sometimes I should be downgraded to a 3. I'll cut the difference and say I'm a 4 over the common bear. So 4 for this one for me. I scroll the gram sometimes. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I will get better. Number 9. Fighter mindset. Now, what I want you to do is avoid the temptation of just imagining where you're really at, and I want you to completely resign yourself to experience alone to score you on this. You have been in multiple near-death experiences before and have found yourself to be able to control your fear and to think clearly and respond proactively. You have been in fights before and feel confident you can hold your own. I'll give myself a 4 in this category as well. Definitely not a 5. I really don't think there's very few people I think should give themselves a 5. I know some of them, and they rightfully own 5s, but man, never underestimate fear and its ability to just absolutely shut you down. And even if I've responded well in the past, that is no guarantee I will play the part of the hero in the future. I could absolutely play the coward. I'm going to keep pushing myself in this dance with mastery over fear, which you never really master. Maybe like a psychopath could do that. Somebody who's just completely mute from all emotion and fear and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Number 10, here we go, tactics. You have war-gamed out clever ways to beat violent attackers in the common ways in which they frequently attack. Bad guys are ambush hunters, and so you can maximize a lot of the different skills that I just talked about already. But if you don't know how to turn an ambush into a counter ambush, and you have some of those pre-packaged ways, if you don't even really have a good definition for what tactics are, and you've really been trained in and practiced this, be very slow to give yourself a 5 in this. Tactics is gaining an advantage over an adversary in the areas of timing, positioning, and psychology, and if you haven't really delved in, don't be quick to give yourself a high score. I'm going to give myself a pretty decent score here. I teach this stuff. I love this stuff. I'm going to give myself a 5 right here. I don't know what all that adds up to for me. When I first made this test, I got an 84%. I don't know what it adds up to in the numbers that I just did. If you guys want to provide your score down below in the comments, I highly encourage you to. You can give us your individual scores for all of the 10 questions or just your aggregate score. Here's how you get an aggregate score. Add up all of your numbers that you already assigned for each of the questions and then multiply it by 2. So if you got a 5 for all of them, you're a liar, but you would take that 5 and multiply it by 10 questions. So 50 times 2 is 100%. Anyway, guys, comment down below. I really want to see what you scored. Guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe, toggle notifications bell to all. Do not be surprised if you have been unsubscribed or your notifications for this channel have been turned off. It's just magically happening to folks. Share this video as well because big tech is not helping us grow. If you would like training in any of these areas, we've got all kinds of amazing full training classes on our Warrior Poet Society network. I encourage you to check it out. We'll have a link down below. It helps support our movement. And when big tech shuts us down, this is our haven where we have binge-worthy shows, news, training classes, and backed up YouTube content, both from us and other gun folks in the industry. Really appreciate your support. Make sure you train hard, train smart, and stay free. See you guys.